Turning now to the Middle East, where clashes between Israel and Hezbollah have continued despite President Trump's announcement that both sides had agreed to dial back the fighting. For more on this, we're joined by BBC News correspondent Sebastian Usher, who's joining us live from Jerusalem. Sebastian, good to see you. So bring us up to speed on what we know is happening on the ground right now.
I mean, they have dialed back the fighting to some extent. I mean, the reason that President Trump made his latest intervention was a sense that there was going to be an even greater escalation. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had ordered his military to attack, to have airstrikes against the southern suburbs of Beirut. Now, that hasn't happened, except on a couple of incidents since the ceasefire, the nominal ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel came into effect. So that has meant that those strikes, which seemed imminent, haven't happened. A large number of Lebanese people fled that area in anticipation of it happening. Some have returned, others are still waiting to see what happens. And the other part of that deal, essentially, which is very partial, was that Hezbollah would stop firing rockets, drones into northern Israel, into those communities there. And from what we've heard, from what we've seen from our team, which is up there on the northern border, there hasn't been any Hezbollah rockets that have come over the border. There have been alarms and alerts, but it's been rockets that have been fired still within Lebanese territory at Israeli troops. And that part of it is not included in this very partial extension of the ceasefire that's supposed to already be in place. The fighting that's going on in South Lebanon between Hezbollah, between Israeli soldiers, that's continued. There's been another evacuation order from the Israeli military for residents in one of the main cities in the south of Lebanon. And so there's a sense that this is just something that avoided what would have been a major escalation, but no more than that for now.
I mean, this is an incredibly complicated situation, so many different moving chess pieces on the board. Where do things actually stand right now with the peace talks between Israel and Lebanon? And can they even achieve anything without Hezbollah at the table?
That's the major question. I mean, as part of what was announced after President Trump's intervention, the Lebanese embassy in the U.S. said that Hezbollah had agreed for a ceasefire if Israel essentially stops its offensive inside Lebanon. Now, what that means in practice, we really don't know, because there's no sense at the moment here in Israel that the government is going to stop that. And the threat that they will still attack Beirut, that is still in place if Hezbollah were to fire any rockets across the border again. So these talks, which a fourth round of negotiations is beginning today in Washington between representatives from the Israeli government and the Lebanese government, I mean, they are moving towards perhaps some greater understanding between those two countries, which is still technically at war. But the problem is the Lebanese government is essentially a bystander in this. It was meant to, under the previous ceasefire, which was brought in after Israel's major offensive against Hezbollah at the end of 2024, it was meant to disarm Hezbollah. But it simply isn't capable. Its military isn't capable. And one of the key reasons that Israel said that it was going back into Lebanon was to do the job that the Lebanese government hadn't been able to do. If the upshot of this is that the burden is still on the Lebanese government to do this, I don't think we're going to get anywhere. The only thing I think these talks can do is to try and find some sort of more diplomatic path between the two countries, which might be able to engineer a situation where the confrontation is dialed down even more than we've seen over the past few hours. And that will allow perhaps Hezbollah and the Israeli military, which are the two forces fighting each other, that they will also be able to step back and there'll be some genuine de-escalation.
All right, Sebastian Usher with our partners at the BBC News, thank you very much.